The woman pointed at Marcus before he even sat down and said, "That seat is not for him." The whole train car went quiet. Marcus froze with one hand on the silver rail and the other holding a small blue gift bag for his daughter. His ticket was in his pocket. His name was on the screen above the seat. But the woman was already standing, already angry, already looking at him like he had stolen something just by walking in. Marcus was a quiet black man from Chicago. He worked nights repairing hospital machines, the kind that kept people breathing when no one was watching. That morning, after a 12-hour shift, he had changed clothes in a tiny restroom, bought a cupcake from the station bakery, and boarded the train to Milwaukee to surprise his daughter Nia at her school art show. He had not slept. His eyes were tired, his hands were rough, and his jacket still smelled faintly like metal and rain. But inside that blue gift bag was a small silver bracelet with one word engraved on it: brave. Nia had been scared to enter her painting in the school competition. Marcus had promised her, "Win or lose, I will be there." But now, in the business quiet car, every face had turned toward him. The woman blocking the aisle was wearing a cream coat and expensive sunglasses pushed on top of her head. She pointed at the empty seat beside the window and said loudly, "I paid extra to sit here. I will not be uncomfortable for 2 hours." Marcus looked at the seat number again. "Ma'am, this is my seat." She laughed, not like something was funny, but like his words had no value. "No, it isn't. You people always try this. Sit in, coach." A man across the aisle lowered his newspaper but said nothing. A young couple looked down at their phones. An older passenger stared at Marcus with sadness, but still stayed silent. Marcus felt heat rising in his neck. He wanted to shout. He wanted to ask everyone why they could see this and still pretend they could not. But he thought of Nia. He thought of her standing beside her painting, searching the door for him. So he kept his voice calm. "I have my ticket." The woman turned toward the attendant who had just entered the car. "Please remove him. He is making me feel unsafe." The word unsafe hit harder than the insult before it. Marcus had heard that word before. Unsafe, suspicious, aggressive, threatening. Words that could turn a tired father into a problem. The attendant, a young man with nervous eyes, stepped closer. "Sir, can I see your ticket?" Marcus handed it over. The attendant scanned it, looked at the screen, then looked confused. "This is your seat," the woman snapped. "Then move him somewhere else." The attendant swallowed. "Ma'am, his ticket is valid." She crossed her arms. "Then, I want the conductor." Marcus quietly sat down, but the woman stayed standing, refusing to move her bag from the seat beside her. The train began to roll, and still she argued. 5 minutes later, the conductor arrived. A tall white man with gray hair and a tired face. The woman spoke first, fast and loud, telling him Marcus had been rude, that he had scared her, that she could not relax with him nearby. Marcus listened to her turn his silence into danger. The conductor asked Marcus, "Sir, did you say anything to her?" "No," Marcus said. "I only said this was my seat." The conductor looked around the car. "Did anyone see what happened?" Nobody answered. Not one person. Marcus felt something inside him sink. The train was full of witnesses, but the truth had no voice. Then a small voice came from 3 rows back. "I saw it." Everyone turned. A little white boy, maybe 10 years old, was sitting beside his grandmother. His face was red, but he kept his hand raised like he was in class. She said the seat was not for him before he did anything. The woman's mouth tightened. "He's a child." The boy's grandmother placed a hand on his shoulder and said, "A child who told the truth." The conductor looked back at Marcus. "I'm sorry, sir, but the woman was not finished." She pulled out her phone and began recording Marcus. "Everybody needs to see this. They let anyone in business class now." Marcus looked out the window. Rain streaked across the glass. He could see his reflection, tired and trapped beside a woman who wanted the world to fear him. Then his phone buzzed. It was Nia. Her message said, "Dad, are you coming?" Marcus typed back with shaking fingers, "Yes, baby, I'm on my way." He put the phone away and closed his eyes. He would not let this woman steal his promise. For the next hour, the woman kept making small comments. She complained about his bag touching the floor. She covered her nose when he opened his coffee. She asked the attendant twice if there were security concerns. Marcus stayed quiet, but every word cut. Near the end of the trip, the train suddenly slowed. A warning tone sounded. The lights flickered once, then steadied. Passengers looked around nervously. A voice came over the speaker, strained and urgent. "If there is a medical professional on board, please come to car 3 immediately." Marcus stood. The woman looked up and smirked. "Now, where are you going?" Marcus did not answer. He grabbed his backpack and moved quickly down the aisle. In car 3, an elderly man had collapsed near the restroom. His wife was crying beside him. The attendant knelt helplessly, trying to follow emergency instructions over the phone. The man's face was pale, his breathing uneven. Marcus dropped to his knees. "I'm not a doctor, but I repair respiratory and cardiac equipment. I know emergency support. Move back. His voice was calm now, strong now, the voice of a man who had spent years around machines that decided whether people lived. He checked the man's pulse, opened his airway, and directed passengers with clear commands. You, get the emergency kit. You, tell the conductor we need paramedics at the next stop. Ma'am, keep talking to him. Tell him his name. The wife sobbed. His name is Harold. Marcus leaned close. Harold, stay with us. Your wife is right here. The emergency kit arrived. Marcus used the mask, checked the oxygen flow, and guided the attendant through chest compressions when Harold's pulse weakened. The train car watched in stunned silence as the man they had allowed to be humiliated fought to save a stranger's life. Minutes felt like hours. Then Harold gasped. His wife screamed his name. Marcus kept working until the train stopped and paramedics rushed in. One of them recognized the setup immediately. Who started support? The attendant pointed at Marcus. He did. The paramedic nodded. You gave him a chance. Marcus stepped back, breathing hard, his shirt damp with sweat. Harold's wife grabbed his hand with both of hers. Thank you. Thank you. You saved my husband. Marcus only nodded. I'm glad he's breathing. When Marcus returned to his seat, the quiet car was no longer quiet in the same way. People stared at him differently now. The woman in the cream coat was pale. Her phone was lowered. The little boy smiled at Marcus like he had just watched a superhero walk by. Marcus picked up the blue gift bag and sat down. The conductor came back, but this time his voice was louder, meant for everyone to hear. Sir, on behalf of this train crew, thank you for helping that passenger. Also, I owe you a real apology. You should not have had to prove your worth to be treated with respect. The woman looked out the window. Marcus said, I didn't help him to prove anything. The conductor nodded slowly. I know. The older passenger across the aisle finally spoke. I should have said something earlier. Marcus looked at him. The man's eyes were wet. I saw the whole thing, the man said. And I stayed quiet. The young couple also looked ashamed. The woman whispered, We're sorry. Marcus did not smile. He did not comfort them. He just said, Next time, don't wait until someone becomes useful before you decide they're human. Those words settled over the car like thunder. When the train reached Milwaukee, Marcus stepped onto the platform. The rain had stopped, but the air was cold. He hurried to Nia's school, still carrying the gift bag, still feeling the weight of the morning in his chest. He arrived late. The art show had already started. Parents filled the gym. Children stood beside colorful paintings taped to folding boards. Marcus searched the room until he saw Nia. She was standing alone beside her painting. Her face lit up when she saw him. Dad. She ran into his arms, and for the first time that day, Marcus felt his body relax. He hugged her tightly, careful not to crush the cupcake in the bag. I told you I would come, he said. Nia pulled him to her painting. It showed a man standing under a streetlight in the rain, holding an umbrella over a little girl. The man's face was gentle but tired. Above them, the sky was dark, yet a small bright moon was shining through. Marcus stared at it. Nia whispered, It's you. His throat tightened. Baby, this is beautiful. A teacher approached them, smiling. Mr. Hayes, I'm so glad you made it. Nia's painting won first place. Nia held up a blue ribbon, trying not to cry. I waited for you. Marcus opened the gift bag and gave her the bracelet. She read the word and smiled. Brave, she said. That's you, Marcus told her. Nia shook her head. That's us. Marcus laughed softly, but his eyes were wet. Then someone behind them said, Excuse me. Marcus turned. It was the little boy from the train, standing with his grandmother. The boy looked nervous, holding a folded paper in his hands. My grandma's friend is Harold, he said. The man you helped. We came to find you because the conductor said you got off here. Marcus blinked in surprise. The grandmother stepped forward. Harold is stable. His wife asked us to tell you that she will never forget your face. The boy handed Marcus the folded paper. I drew something for you. Marcus opened it. It was a simple drawing of a train seat, a man standing tall, and many people with their heads down. But one small boy had his hand raised. Under the picture, in messy handwriting, it said, I saw the truth. Marcus looked at the boy for a long moment. You were brave today. The boy shook his head. I was scared. Brave doesn't mean you're not scared, Marcus said. It means you tell the truth anyway. Nia looked at the boy, then at her father. What happened on the train? Marcus looked around the gym. He saw children laughing, parents taking photos, teachers clapping for winners. He did not want to bring the ugliness of the morning into Nia's bright moment, but he also did not want to hide the world from her. So he knelt down and said gently, Someone judged me before they knew me. Nia's smile faded. Because you're black. Marcus took a breath. Yes. The boy lowered his eyes. His grandmother touched his back. Nia looked at her bracelet again. Then she walked to her painting, removed the blue ribbon, and pinned it carefully to Marcus's jacket. Marcus was startled. Nia, no, that's yours. She shook her head. You came through rain, work, and mean people. You still came. You get first place too. People nearby began to notice. A few parents turned. The teacher covered her mouth, emotional. Marcus looked down at the ribbon on his jacket and tried to hold himself together. All morning, a stranger had tried to make him feel small. Now, his daughter was standing in front of everyone, making him feel seen. The little boy stepped closer and said, "Sir, I'm sorry nobody else spoke." Marcus put a hand on his shoulder. "You did. That matters." Later that evening, the train company released a short statement after passengers posted videos of Marcus saving Harold. But the video that spread the most was not the woman's recording. It was taken by the boy's grandmother. In that video, Marcus was not shouting. He was not angry. He was kneeling beside Harold, steady and focused, giving clear instructions while everyone watched. The caption said, "This man was treated like a threat." Minutes later, he saved a life. Millions of people saw it. Some praised Marcus. Some argued. Some tried to make excuses. But Marcus did not care about becoming famous. He cared about one thing. The next morning, he walked Nia to school. She wore the bracelet. He wore the blue ribbon inside his jacket pocket. At the school gate, Nia squeezed his hand and said, "Dad, when people judge us, what do we do?" Marcus looked at his daughter, at her bright eyes and brave little face. He said, "We don't shrink. We don't become what they call us. We stay true. And when the time comes, we raise our hand." Nia smiled. "Like the boy." Marcus nodded. "Like the boy. Like you. Like anyone who knows the truth and refuses to hide it." She hugged him, then ran inside. Marcus stood there for a moment, watching her disappear through the school doors. The world had tried to teach his daughter fear, but that day, she had learned something stronger. She had learned that silence helps cruelty grow. She had learned that dignity does not need permission. And Marcus had learned that even on a train full of quiet adults, sometimes the smallest voice can carry the loudest truth.